Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the House's Maggie's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, Walters, and Carta.
The one, the only,
Sesame and Carta.
the man, the myth, the legend, the great one.
The ancient one, the master, the
only one.
the most high, the whatever.
The god of casts.
Like regular cast, like like an arm cast or like a leg brace, if you break your arm or something like that.
Or like a Broadway cast.
That too.
The good times. Yes.
The good time. So I have a bone to pick really quick.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. That was a good pun or rhyme. I have a bone to pick real quick. I like that.
Yes.
So I was a member of this Facebook group called Marvel Studios, I think it was called.
Yes.
It has over 700,000 members of this group. So there's like multiple posts, like hundreds of posts a day.
Yeah.
And a lot of them lately have been like going back into this like anti-social justice warrior like fervor, like honestly stuff I haven't really seen since like 2015, and like I've been seeing their research and stuff. Things kind of tend to ebb and flow, so like I guess we're going into the flow part.
I mean, parachute pants come back into fashion sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like pretty soon we're gonna see what was those jeans for like the bottom part of like super long, and like basically
those are bell bottoms. Yeah.
No, not those. There's actually something called like JNOC.
Oh, those Janko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those come back in fashion, I'm sure, and then neon stuff and fascism.
Yeah, fascism and also just like these crybabies that are like every single day there is like multiple posts, some of them by the same guy who swears that he's happily married, and I'm sure that I believe him. He might be happily married. I'm not sure if his wife agrees, but he in his mind he's happily married.
Yeah, he's probably happy, but I don't envy her.
Either his wife is and is brainwashed by him, which is sad, or she's not happy. Either way, it's sad. But anyway, he's this person was posting all these posts about like one had like it was like the scene like where Bruce was like teaching Jen how to meditate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then on like the it was like an old school meme too, where you just had like text over the one person text, like even like the memes are going back in time. where like on Bruce's side it said something like the love of my life sacrificed herself to save the world, and I didn't have the strength to save her or whatever. And then on Jen's side, it says, I get catcalled sometimes, which means that I'm better at controlling my anger than you. So obviously, it's trying to like say like, oh well,
Because
these
that was
fem-
the complete message that they were trying to make, right?
well, that's what they're, but that's what he's starting.
Yeah.
The person
Mm-hmm.
is trying to think, oh, these feminists, they complain about having it so bad when a fictional Hulk character, had more trauma than she did, and then the trauma that she's talking about she faces is like actual trauma that like real people in the real world face on a daily basis, as opposed to your not really girlfriend because you never really officially hooked up or actually got together, jumped off a cliff and died to retrieve a soul stone, which I'm not sure exists in our real world, but maybe it does. Maybe Thanos is a real person that exists out there in the universe and was planning to snap, 50% of all existence, out of existence.
But I'm sure
maybe.
the same guy was upset at the fact that it was a woman who sacrificed herself for the world.
Well, no, it's interesting. No, he might have missed that part though, because
I mean, I'm saying he may have felt that way back when Endgame came out.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
Right.
if you look, well, I went through his page. I'm not gonna say his name because.
Oh yeah.
And so I went to his page, and of course, it's public because most of these people they want their views to be seen because they're so, whatever. Like, and and of course, I was looking just for like general right wing crap, and of course, I found it. Like, I found a thing about Biden saying like National Clown Week from August 1st to August 7th, and it was a picture of Biden.
Oh yeah.
Whatever, fine. And then but then I saw a few posts down where it said something like it goes like, Daddy, why are female athletes so great now? And then it had like a picture from like some guy from like the Lord of the Rings that says, because they were once men, so they're trying to do the whole like transphobia thing. So basically the guy's just a piece of shit overall,
Yeah.
so like
yeah.
it tracks, and I think he also had a thing about the scene with her twerking, like, oh, this is what killed feminism. I'm like, oh yeah, like you were such a hardcore feminist before that, I'm sure, right? Like it was the twerking scene with Megan Thee Stallion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it was the moment that it happened. I saw all of my female friends crying out and complaining, and they were all upset, and they were like, "Oh no, not the whole like Roe v. Wade being overturned or anything. That didn't kill anything. It was when Megan Thee Stallion was twerking on the She-Hulk TV show."
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
if you don't think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was funny. So I had to unfollow that group though, just because I felt like I was losing brain cells just by reading.
Yeah,
Like, I wasn't
I've
getting
gotten
mad.
to the point where I used to engage on all these things. I've stopped doing it because it's just a waste of time.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll say shit, but just to when somebody. Most of the time, I just correct people's grammar now,
Yeah, they hate that.
and that pisses them off just as much. So, anyways, welcome to the show, folks.
Yeah.
Today,
Welcome to Woke Scold, man.
Yeah.
Woke Hulk. Or no,
Yeah,
what was it?
it
Not
was
Woke Hulk.
she woke.
That's right. She woke. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to She Woke with two white people.
Wokesters. I don't know. White
Yeah.
wokesters.
Yes. My new superhero name, you want to know what it is?
Oh yeah, what is it?
Woke Boy.
Woke. What's a side? This guy's sidekick. What's their name?
Common Sense.
Common Sense. There you go.
Yes.
Um,
Woke Boy and Common Sense. It's going to be coming from Marvel. It's going to be on Disney Plus in like a year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I'm gonna star.
Cool. And I bet you that, like, unironically, people like Ben Shapiro would actually think it's a real show. They're like, you see what we've been warning you about? You guys didn't listen, and now we're gonna be forced to watch She-Hulk twerk on, now. I can't even think, but whatever. Like, and
Hmm.
their drag queen story hour is going to be somehow incorporated into one of the episodes of Ms. Marvel Part 2 or something.
And they're
I
gonna
don't know.
take away the sexiness from the green M&M.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
they
And
gave
then
all that sexiness to the She-Hulk because you can only have
Yeah.
one sexy green character, and
which is weird because I was pissed off about the green M&M not wearing stripper boots no more. So
but I'm upset about a Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion.
Because
Yeah,
I have no actual consistent values whatsoever, brother. My values just shift depending on what serves my narrative at that particular point in time, brother.
mm-hmm.
Because I actually have nothing to offer the world except for my vapid opinions that only emotionally disturbed young men primarily have because they refuse to go to therapy and or they cannot afford to do so, which is actually a symptom of our failing healthcare. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to make this political.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, She-Hulk
Yeah.
or She-Woke.
Yeah.
Or...
Welcome to She-Woke with Alex Jones. Alex Jones and Jordan Peterson here.
Yeah. It's the problem with transphobia as a word is that like
it's the frogs. They're making people gay.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the frogs, but just I mean, I sound like Kermit the Frog, so that may be what has triggered your thought about.
I think you're turning people gay.
No, just hold on a sec, sir. So
I'm telling you, you are.
I used to be a so-called intellectual and professor at a university, but now I've demeaned myself into being a talking head for the extreme far right wing. And when people say like homophobe or transphobe,
Yeah, false flag.
How many people are actually afraid of trans people or gay people? The phrase doesn't make any sense, even though those words actually don't mean an actual physical fear of those people. And I'm just playing semantics in order to make myself seem like I sound smart. Fuck you, Jordan Peterson. Anyway, yeah, all right,
false flags. Okay, anyway,
we gotta get to the because we probably already alienated half of our audience.
Yes. So, for those of you that are still here,
I'm sorry. This show has brought out so many.
I know.
I always thought that Ms. Marvel would have been worse, but this has really got people like.
No. Teenage Muslim girl. Fine.
Or maybe that was the problem. It was two female shows in a row. Maybe that was the problem.
Yeah, they're just shoving it down our throats, don't you know?
You need a break. You need one female led show and then like 7 male-led shows, and then another female show, but they just went back to back. So, that's too much. It's kind of like taking too much medication all at once. It's like, oh no, I took 2 of my pills at once. Oh shit, Anyway, yeah.
So, episode 2
and 3
and 3 are what we're covering today. Episode 2 was entitled Superhuman Law. It was directed by Kat Coiro. I can't talk. And written by Jessica Gao. This aired on August 25th, 2022 on Disney+. So, in this episode, I'm going to do a quick breakdown of this one, if that's cool with you, Sesame.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, here's the fast, jab here. Here's my closing summation. We've got Jen. Okay, so she's gaining a lot of public notoriety here after defeating Titania in the first episode.
Yeah, of course.
And somebody on the news dubs her She-Hulk. So that name sticks. However, that case that she had in the first episode is declared a mistrial because she saved the jury. So, they were influenced, supposedly, because they had their lives saved. Like, happens all the time in court.
Yeah, I mean, and so, like, A mistrial, does that mean that it's just trial? They just don't do it at all anymore? They just bring in a new lawyer to start?
They'll bring it. They'll have to bring in a new jury and a new lawyer and all that
I
stuff.
got
Not
you.
necessarily a new lawyer, but a new jury for sure.
Oh, okay, got
Yeah, and so then we have. Sorry, my computer decided to go black right there when I was trying to read stuff. That was
God.
weird. I think Alex Jones and Jordan Peterson are trying to get me.
We're not allowing the woke left to. Okay, sorry.
Don't read your computer. All a false flag, man. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm a false flag. Wait, what?
Yes, I am. Yes. I'm making frogs gay. Wait, what? Put on your tinfoil hat. The sheeple. So so anyways, she basically is like, out of a job now because of this situation, because the district attorney's office doesn't want to work with her because she's a Hulk now. Because, I guess that's legal to fire somebody because they're a Hulk.
Well, yeah. Or because they're an quote enhanced individual is what they're now calling people with powers.
I mean, I've been in the workforce for most of my life, and there's been several times where I've had fellow coworkers fired because they were enhanced individuals.
I mean, you gotta be careful with them, right? I mean, because like they can get like 2 times the work done in like half the time, and somehow that makes sense to fire them because they're too productive, right? So,
The funny thing is I've been at places where actually the more productive people have gotten fired before the people that were lazy as fuck. So
that's the nature of capitalism, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
That would be called the Cap Cast. Captain America plus a critique of capitalism, all in the same podcast. That would just be me, because I don't think you want to go along with that one. But
I think it should be you and Steve Rogers.
And Steve Rogers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you.
So I gotta talk to the real Rogers,
or just call up the actor and call up Chris Evans and be like, hey, dude, I got an idea for a podcast.
Actually, that would be really bold of me to do that, but I'll try. I'll send a message to his I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't check his social media, but whoever.
Yeah, tweet him and be like, hey, I got an idea for a podcast.
I DM you.
I know you're not busy or anything.
No, I know you're not doing like a million movies and you're doing like Captain America Part 7 or like whatever.
No, he's not. He's done. So.
Oh, he is. He's done. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the next Captain America, we already have Sam as Captain America now. So.
Well, I know, but they were doing like the 2 new Avengers movies, so I didn't know if he was gonna
come back. Nah, probably not. I hope not, honestly, because his story ended and it had a nice little bow on it. So yeah.
Yep.
That's my feeling. Anyways, so Jen's out of a job.
Yeah.
So she is going off in this like nice little montage where it's really shot well, where you just see her in the background kind of changes, the lighting too and stuff, and everything keeps getting dingier and dingier as she keeps interviewing for different lawyer type jobs, and everybody keeps rejecting her because they don't want to hire a Hulk. Yeah, I think that's discrimination.
Yeah. Plus, too, the fact that she literally was going to win against that huge company before that happened. You think, wouldn't you want that person as your lawyer? Because if she can like win against like JL and K or whatever they were called, whatever. But yeah, plus too, because she's a Hulk, and it's like, yeah, but she doesn't have to. She could change whenever she wants to. It's not
It's a lot different than like if somebody's being discriminated against because of the color of their skin or something.
Yeah,
You know.
totally different because the color of her skin's green. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
but what I'm saying is that she can change back into a normal
Oh
looking
yeah, that's what
human,
you're saying.
whereas or I mean, I'm not saying that African American people or any other race are not normal people, but it's not like Shaquille O'Neal can all of a sudden start looking like Larry Bird.
Right. Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, maybe
yeah.
science will come out later, but like, yeah. What's the no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, interesting. Just like a little interesting about that is, I mean, I know you're doing a quick recap, but I just wanted to add really quick
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
I actually prefer uh Jen in this show than the actual She-Hulk version of the character.
Oh, me
Like,
too.
I actually like when she transitions or transforms. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But like, I actually like the like Jen
Hmm.
as her old boss called her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like which I think is interesting because that's like another sort of like what would you call it, like subversion of like the superhero type of show where like like I'm actually identifying more with like the regular version of the person, not the superhero version of that person.
Well, it's
Whereas,
like on Moon Knight, I identified more with what was his name? The British.
uh, uh, Stephen Grant.
Yeah, I identified with Stephen Grant more than I did with any of the other versions of him. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because he was a nerd and kind of foppish and whatever. Yeah. So yeah. But anyways, so she ends up getting offered a job while at a bar by Holloway from GLK and H. Um, and just so people know that Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. Goodman was the original publisher of Marvel Comics. Lieber is Stan Lee's real last name, and Kurtzberg is Jack Kirby's real last name. So that's where those names came from. So Holden Holloway basically says he wants her to head up this the firm's new superhuman law division that that is like a new division that's going to represent people with superhuman powers. So, but he wants her in a way that's controlling her to always be She-Hulk while at work and at trials and stuff. He offers her a case, and the first case that she is offered is to represent Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, at his parole hearing.
pretty big
Yeah, go
first
ahead.
job. I was saying pretty big first job. All right, your first case ever is gonna be, the guy who tried to kill your cousin.
Yeah, it's sad, and that's why she doesn't want to do it. So she ends up consulting with Bruce to make sure it's okay, and he says it's cool that everything's good between him and Blonsky. Blonsky even wrote him a haiku, like you do. And so she decides that she's going to take the case, and while that is happening, while she's calling up Holloway to say, "Hey, yo, I got this. Everything's in the bag," he says, "Turn on the news," and we see footage of the Abomination fighting Wong in an underground fight club in a scene from Shang-Chi.
Yep, and she's like, "Oh shoot, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's gonna screw up my case now."
Yeah. That happens, unfortunately.
You know, yeah, it happens. Of course it does. I mean, why wouldn't it happen?
So then that leads us into our next episode, which is episode 3, entitled "The People versus Emil Blonsky." Uh, directed again by Kat Coiro, written by Francesca and Jacqueline Gales. This aired on September 1st of 2022. So, what goes down in this episode here, Sesame?
We have kind of like a breakdown of what happened. You know, like previous, like we get the whole, you know, Emil basically just like telling her his side of the story. You know how they pumped him full of that super soldier serum, which is kind of what made him mentally unstable. But then he left out the part that where he actually tried to inject Bruce Banner's blood into a system, which actually caused him to become the Abomination. But whatever. And then so it's a little bit of a like a not so much a lie, but not telling the complete truth. And he's got these 7 soulmates that apparently purchased a big plot of land for him to live on. I'm not exactly sure why, but and how they're so rich to buy a huge plot of land for him. But we'll find out about that
Yes.
later,
I'm
probably.
sure
And
we
then,
will.
yeah, I'm sure we will. Why he's got these, and just the general stuff of her being fired and kind of having to go to a family dinner and sort of just have to like face the fact that she just got fired, and what her cousin like he's like, hey, you got fired. And they're like, why did you say that? It's like, oh, you told me to bring it up. It's like, I told you not to bring it up. Why would I tell you to bring that up for? Sorry, I didn't know. Anyway, I heard that Ched, is it Chet or Ched?
Ched.
Ched.
CHED. Yeah.
I heard that, does he become a villain in the comics at some point? Or
I don't know. I'm not even sure if he's in the comics.
I thought I read somewhere where so hopefully they're not going to do something with him where he becomes like infected with her blood for some reason. I don't know, but whatever. Because that would, well, I hope not, because that would make the show too convoluted and weird. But like, and so yeah, so now she's got basically build a new case, to figure out like, all right, so now what do I do with this guy? Because it's all over the news of him fighting in this underground fight ring. So then she storms into the prison, and asks him like, hey, can you tell me like what the hell's going on? And he's like, yeah, I was actually taken here against my own will, and I was forced to take place in this fight. And then once the fight was over, I demanded that I be immediately returned to my prison cell. And she's like, well, how did you able to escape like this insanely secure prison? Which is hilarious, because in Ms. Marvel it didn't seem very hard for the clandestines to break. But then again, though, they were probably super strong, but like from a different dimension. But still, been quite a few escapes from this prison so far, so it's not exactly the most secure prison for enhanced individuals.
Yeah, it's just weird.
She might think, but so they find out who Wong is, because he tells them. And then I always forget her paralegal's name. What's her name? Because I always feel bad just calling her paralegal. Do you know her name?
It's Nikki.
All right, so Nikki is like doing like research, and she finds his social media profile, or one of them, and it says that he's it either says he's the sorcerer supreme of the mystic arts in New York, but also the librarian of Camertage. But then if you actually look further from like a screenshot, it said he worked at like Targets like before that. It's like you do, you got to work your way up.
I mean,
Target.
Like I said, I've worked with several enhanced humans before in my past, and they all got fired eventually. So I'm figuring that that's what happened to him.
Walmart is DC superheroes, and Target is Marvel ones. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, I used to work at Walmart, and when there, I used to hang out a lot of times with Shazam, and and then Aquaman. He was always helping us stock the fish,
Well,
and
yeah.
and then we had like Mr. Freeze helping us out over in Frozen, and you know how it goes.
The Flash was stocking groceries.
Yeah, he made us all look bad, so they fired him. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Plus,
Mhm.
too, having Aquaman stock the fish almost seems like a punishment to him.
Yeah,
'Cause
it was. It was
he's
kind
like,
of sad.
you gotta have to stock all of your dead brothers and sisters, like kind of
And
like from the boys.
oh
What's
yeah,
his,
the
the deep,
deep. Yeah.
the deep. He decides to buy a lobster to save it, but then they immediately kill it in front of him. He's like, God damn it! Like,
Yeah. That's insane.
anyway,
Um
uh,
so
but yeah,
so yeah,
Marvel.
what happens
Marvel's
next?
Like what happened? Okay, well after the Target gig turned into the library gig, that then turned into the Sorcerer Supreme gig. He agrees to talk with Jen, and he's like just tells her flat out like, yeah, I took him from the prison against his own will, so abduction, all right, and I forced them to fight, so that's like a fighting ring, so that's crime felony number two. And then I offered him immediate freedom, so fugitive, so that's felony number three, aiding and abetting a felon. And then but then he's like, no, he demanded he be returned to his cell. So it's like, wait a minute, so the criminal here is Emil Blonsky, but Wong, who's just committed 3 felonies all in one fell swoop, totally fine because he's Sorcerer Supreme, apparently. So she's like, all right, well, will you actually be a witness and actually say that in front of the parole hearing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. And so that part happens. What else happens?
So we've got this other storyline going on here. Our B storyline, I guess you could say. Where Pug, who is one of the coworkers who knows all the good places to poop, in one of the dumbest jokes in this whole series, I'm sorry. But anyway, so Augustus Pugliese, who is played by Josh Segarra, who people may know as the vigilante, aka Adrian Chase from Arrow.
Yep.
Among other things. Anyways, he has to take on this case for Dennis Bukowski, who worked at the DA's office with Jen, because he's been bilked out of $175,000 by a light elf from New Asgard named Runa, who defrauded him by impersonating Megan Thee Stallion, the, multi-Grammy award-winning rapper and singer. Yes, so...
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. And that, Megan Thee Stallion would just date some rando lawyer from,
And one of the things he did as part of this is help her pay off her Nissan Passat, which
right.
Yeah, which is, mid-sized sedan, not.
So when I think of Megan Thee Stallion, I think of just like a mid-level car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, maybe some people just have certain taste in cars, but that would raise a red flag for me.
Yeah. And so he was convinced that he was dating the real Megan Thee Stallion. So
yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's fine and all. I mean, but it's obviously fake, unlike, the relationship I'm currently in with Audrey Hepburn.
Right. Now, if I could see it like if Megan Thee Stallion like would want to take a chance on like a shy, kind of person, who would, love her for however she is, whether she put on makeup or didn't put on
Hmm.
makeup, didn't really care. Maybe that guy's named Sesame, I could see
Yeah,
that,
I could say that. Somebody that,
ability.
lives in the northwestern part of
Yeah, I mean, so
Ohio
like
and
if Megan is happens to be
hmm
listening to this, and maybe we can
hmm
just go out on one date, not expecting anything,
hmm
in return, just a nice, date, just to talk and have a good time, have fun, maybe a couple drinks, just joke, and
yeah,
then take you home in your sedan or whatever it is, and
your Nissan Passat, yeah.
then and then say goodbye.
Hmm.
Won't expect a kiss or anything in return, and just
Yeah,
So I'm just saying,
but
I can see
it's
that you know.
you know, but my relationship with Audrey Hepburn is legit, right?
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
mean, I sent her that money to Nigeria.
I mean, I heard she moved there,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, I mean, she told me that she's living there in a house with Elvis and Tupac.
I mean, like they bought like a
Hmm.
castle, because I imagine that
Yeah.
like the currency ratio or the currency exchange between well, I'm not even
Hmm.
sure now about the dollar anymore, but like
Yeah.
I mean, but at that time, the dollar to the Nigerian currency, which I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the Nigerian currency,
Yes.
but I would imagine it would be like a little bit. You'd be getting a little bit more if you exchanged your dollars into
I mean,
that. Right.
I never, it's ironic, considering this episode, but when I've been, sending stuff to my beloved Audrey Hepburn there, it's all in Target gift cards.
I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
well, that's true because Juan used to work at Target, so he's got like
Hmm.
a surplus of them that he kind of run off with. He ran off with when he got fired. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, that happened anyway. um,
Oh well, you know.
what else happened?
So so
Sorry.
this story we have you know we end up I mean you did you mention that Blonsky was released eventually
What do you mean, like by Juan, or you just mean by the?
by the parole board?
No, I didn't
Okay,
mention that.
so what happened with I thought I miss yeah heard earlier. So anyways, Blonsky ends up being released by the parole board. So we have this whole this 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 light elf Runa ends up posing as a judge at one point, poses as Pug at one point, poses as Bukowski at one point. So it's it, she ends up getting 6 months for that, plus gets for impersonating a judge, plus has to pay the $175,000 to Dennis. They win the case. Dennis says something in the hallway, and Jen overhears, and he's like, "I wish there was something we could do to stop her from doing this to hurt somebody else or whatever." And so it gives her the idea to part of the Blonsky's parole is that he has an inhibitor, so he can't change into the abomination.
Which is interesting to me because I know that like in this particular show, that's all that means. But I'm thinking because we are gonna be bringing mutants or whatever they choose to call them into the MCU soon, that we probably are gonna be starting to get into this rhetoric now of like, hey, we've let these superheroes just run amok for like years. Maybe we should like force them to register, themselves, and or even dampen their powers. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, because it's kind of weird how we haven't seen any of that in the past 14 years of the MCU so far that there's literally been no one who's like, hey, why don't we just like force these people to register with the government or like do something to take away their powers? Like that's just been like completely like not even mentioned at all.
Wear nice little yellow stars on their clothing.
Yeah, but now,
Oh, just sorry.
yeah, but now we're finally. So I mean, yeah, in the case of She-Hulk, she just meant it particularly for
Yeah, I know.
Potsy, but I think that could also be a sort of hint of like just an ever so subtle hint of like what could be coming down the way a little bit of like people like saying, all right, we're fed up with these superheroes like destroying our cities to like fight off some evil villain named like Burger Bee or whatever, like who threw, my car at the Avengers and now, I can't come to work or whatever. That's a meme, by the way. And
Really?
and yeah, it's a meme. It's like, sorry, I'm late to work. The Avengers threw my car at some villain named like Burger Bee or something like that.
Oh, weird.
Like, but it's weird because you haven't seen like with the X-Men, like, I mean, with the X-Men movies, it was all about, their characters, not integrating characters. So it's hard to really see what's going on. But like, those movies are always all about like, plus too, I think the X-Men might take place in the future a little bit too. So I'm not really sure how that works. But like, so we haven't really seen that conversation at all, really, just as far as I know, at least in like the 14 years of the MCU, of like, hey, like, these people shouldn't have powers, or we should.
I mean,
like,
we did have the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, but that was more like that wasn't so much registering because.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like for your average everyday enhanced individual.
Yeah, it was because they themselves, the Avengers, were basically just. I mean, I'm sorry, I agree with Tony on this whole Civil War thing because it's like, yeah, they do have to be put in check because they do have more power than other people, and not fair if one of them were to go rogue, like Scarlet Witch, there's no one to defend themselves against them, like, and so,
or like maybe some kind of thing that happened in reality where, people with power go rogue and like kill people and stuff. People. Like, I'm not saying anything like people that wear blue uniforms with badges or anything, but
Wokester.
Yeah, sorry. Woke boy strikes again.
Boy metaphorically strikes.
That's my catchphrase too.
What?
I just go, woke boy strikes again.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you have the soy voice.
Every time I do something, I'll be like, well, actually, you see, that's racist because blah 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 blah. Woke boy strikes again. That's how it goes.
I love that. You should just record that and like kind of like how a radio station has like a button where they push like woke boy strikes again. Like, like a laugh track or like a farting sound or whatever. Yeah, like you should get yourself a board of sound effects and just like
I might do that.
Yeah, dude, like a siren thing, like or like or a record scratch.
Farting noises. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, farting. Or what I would like to is like, I know it's not relevant really, but I just love it. Is when Donald Trump was talking about the windmills, goes windmill, wheel.
Woke boy strikes again. Oh, sorry. Oh, anyway, so
oh my god.
So, anyways, that basically kind of wraps up this episode. Oh, wait, we do have one situation that we forgot to talk about. The wrecking crew attacks her.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
At the end of the episode. And for a second there, she's like, she's letting them attack her, and she's in, like, Gen form. And she's like, oh, wait. And then she turns into the She-Hulk. And, she can, and she fights them and everything. They're trying to, take some blood from her. Weren't able to get it because once she was She-Hulk, it the needle couldn't penetrate her skin.
Yeah.
While they're in the van afterwards, one of them says the boss is going to be mad. So I don't know who the boss is. I have theories. I think it might be Kingpin. Mainly,
Yeah.
mainly just because he seemed to have some kind of superpowered strength at the end of Hawkeye, and we do know he's going to appear in Echo. So
Yeah, they mentioned that in Hawkeye too, or maybe it was in some of like the theory videos where people were saying like maybe, and part of it was just like the fact that Kingpin is just like so determined and just like believes that he can't lose, that like just like having
like he
that
just
amount of self
yeah,
assurance like gives him like a placebo effect. But I don't really know because he got hit
kind
by
of
the
like the
car.
thing like where a mother could lift a car if her kid was under it, sort of thing.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
literally got hit by a car and he was
yeah,
still like, and he got shot by multiple arrows.
yeah.
I mean,
That doesn't seem
and
like the same kind of like adrenaline that
no, it really does
gets when she lifts up a car or something. Yeah.
no. And then like he would just like pull out the arrow like nothing. I mean, yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's definitely going at least this version of Kingpin, which we're still not sure
If
if
it's
this
the
is
same one.
like we don't know. I mean, he looks the same and everything, but we don't even know if this Daredevil is even the same Daredevil from the same universe.
And we will see soon because Daredevil's supposed to appear in She-Hulk. So
Right. So that being Kingpin is probably a pretty good guess that that could be the boss, because he got Daredevil, and plus too the fact that Daredevil's wearing apparently his like original uniform, which I guess was different than
well,
um
it's one of the versions of it. It's like different colored. It's
okay.
red and yellow, as a red and
That's
yellow and black, as opposed to just like red, primarily red and black. So yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that could also be an indication that maybe just maybe possibly this is like all the shows we've been watching before are
Mhm.
like in a different universe, like not 616 or whatever. So maybe this is
Yeah, like the whole like the the whole Daredevil and Punisher and Jessica Jones and all that.
yeah, because people are saying too, like, since those shows were kind of a lot more violent,
Yeah,
you know, and putting them in the MCU is going to be kind of tricky because they usually kind of go for like a PG-13 type of thing.
and that's another thing that's upsetting people because they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
no,
well, I
this is when
think,
we're gonna get." I saw a post the other day. They're like, and this is how they're gonna introduce Daredevil to the MCU is in this stupid show, and
yeah,
I was like, actually, he was already in No Way Home, so
yeah, you piece of shit. And then, you know, I bet you Daredevil's probably going to be trans though, because of the trans agenda.
mhm.
So it's going to be what's Daredevil's actual name? His like real name?
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, it's gonna be Matilda Murdoch. And then a big part of like the 18 episodes is good. Like half of the episodes is gonna be about quote her transition. Because I can't say his because I'll get blocked on Twitter or what. Anyway, Woke Boy Strikes Again. Sorry,
Well,
you should
actually,
say
everything you just said, my friend,
what?
is probably not true, and it sounds a little bit bigoted, my friend.
Yeah,
Oak
but I'm just
boy strikes again.
Boy Strikes exactly. You really should just record that one loop and just put that.
Oh boy.
Oh God. Um,
Oh boy.
yeah, she gets attacked, and then she, which kind of scared me for a sec, because like just think about it. If she didn't have the Hulk powers, I mean, she would have just been assaulted and killed. If they would have had their way with her. So that's kind of which again, woke boy strikes again. You're not allowed to talk about real life,
Oh no.
things that women face apparently,
I
because
guess not.
that's the wokester. What's that?
I guess not.
Well, I know according to that guy on that Marvel fan page, you're not allowed to, say, "Oh my God, like, hey, did you know that like women get like assaulted on the street, like on the regular, and that like most of them don't have superpowers? So like if like 8 guys like ambush her, she's pretty much like a goner, like for real. They're like, oh, you're just being woke for saying that. Okay. Like, sorry, like for telling you the truth. Like, I don't know what else to say about them. I'm not really sorry actually, but
Yeah.
because truth needs to be spoken. And like, I remember as a kid, again, woke boy strikes again. But I remember as a kid, you'd watch like cop movies and stuff like that, or TV shows, and you would have scenes like that where they would like attack a woman on the street, whatever, and to be like like, oh my god, like they got that poor woman or whatever. But like now I'm watching this, as an adult, and I'm like, I know now, like this isn't just fiction like you see on TV, like and like I know the stats as well. So like seeing her actually get assaulted by like 4 or 5 guys like actually
Mm-hmm.
made me feel really really nervous
Oh
and
yeah.
uncomfortable. Like because I was sitting there thinking like this right now is literally happening like somewhere in every
Oh yeah.
city.
There's somewhere that
Like
some woman
like
is getting attacked for her money or
or
raped
any
or rape
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
So like that made me super uncomfortable, especially before she realized that she could, turn into her Hulk powers. And I was like, yeah, but what about all the women who don't have that? I mean, I guess some of them might know some martial arts and stuff to help them out, but like even then, if there's like 5 people against you, I mean, like
Yeah. Oh well. Any other thoughts here on this episode or the future?
no, just that ending woke part. The woke. Oh yeah, no, I did want to
Mm-hmm.
mention the fact that like, so there were some theories that Emil's. I like that name by the way, Emil. I think that
Yeah.
Emil Plot sounds really. It's got a really nice ring to it. But anyway, there were some theories that his quote 7 soulmates were going to be the Thunderbolts, but it turns out it's just like this like hippie commune, and like they're
Yeah.
all women. And it's like, is this dude like a polygamist? Has he got like 7 wives? And then like I remember too where like he's calling them out by name, and then like Jen just kind of looks back, and then she looks forward. It's like, I don't think we need to go in further into that. Like
Oh. Yeah.
like I don't think we need to look further into that. Like
No,
kind of
definitely not.
because that might just mess up his case. Like, oh, got 7 girlfriends. That's not good looking. That's not looking good
Well,
for him.
well, as long as he's not marrying all 7 of them, I guess it's illegal.
Well, no, but he could get a fish. Well, the thing is, I actually know I have a Facebook friend who is a polygamist, and he has uh 3 wives, but one of them is only legally, and the
Yeah.
other are like they're spiritual marriages, I guess you would call them. Like, uh, but so I know it happens, and the dude's pretty chill. I mean, like he's not like he's actually like not misogynistic at all. He's like
Yeah.
actually hardcore super feminist. He just happens to just 3 wives. I don't know. I mean, why? I don't really see the problem, to be honest. I don't like. I mean, as long as there's not like a power like dynamic where like that kind of thing where like like the man is seen as like the master sex or what or whatever type of that kind of thing, then obviously that's you got some issues going on right there. But like I don't give a shit. Like what if like what if a woman wants 4 husbands? Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like like I don't care, but like
It's up to them, in my opinion. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like, as
like,
long
who
as
gives a
nobody's
shit?
hurting each other, I don't care.
Exactly. As long as
Yeah.
there's no power dynamics that are
Yeah.
skewed.
As long as it's not like, somebody with like 4 slaves that he's calling his wives or
Yeah,
or
like
4
one of the-
husbands that she's calling her husbands, or 4
Yeah,
slaves,
yeah.
yeah.
Again, I have to make it clear. I'm not like referring to like the FDLS or
Yeah.
sorry, the FLDS or
Mm-hmm.
those kind of.
You're not marrying your stepdaughters and your cousins and your
Well, is that what they were doing? I didn't even know they were doing
sometimes
that.
they do that shit too.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I didn't even know they were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Well, I gotta read more up on that because I'm still reading the Book of Mormon. That's gonna take me like a year to read that. But like, just so damn.
I mean,
long.
I'm not probably not in the like back in the old days when Mormons actually still got married to multiple wives. I don't think they were necessarily doing that, but a lot in the FDLS, like it was such a small group of people that a lot of the people were related to each other, and so you'd be like marrying your uncle and shit.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a pretty small
Mhm.
splinter group as far as like the
Maybe not even necessarily your blood uncle, but it could be like your,
well,
you know, your
it's,
your aunt's husband or something. You
it's
know, it's
still
like it's
weird. I
still
mean, like for
gross as
example,
hell. Yeah.
still weird. Like for example, I know this is
Mhm.
a weird tangent, but like so like Elon Musk's father, I don't know his
Mhm.
name. He he got married or either had children with someone who was his stepdaughter for like a short period of time, who he had known since she was 4 years old, and I'm just like, oh, that's like
Oh yeah.
I don't care. Like I don't care if that person's 30 and then you get married to that person. If like you've known, like if you're an adult and you've known a person since they were 4 years old, and I just
Yeah,
like
I know
I don't know. I
it's
just
kind
something
of
about
weird.
it, I
Definitely.
can't get over just the awkwardness of like how that makes you feel. But anyway, apparently Elon Musk is a genius, and so is his dad. So apparently,
Hmm.
they know what they're doing. I guess I don't know, but no, I'm being sarcastic. But um,
Yep.
I mean, did you know that Elon Musk is like the biggest
Mhm.
genius of all time? That he invented time travel, that he invented air,
Mhm.
um,
I
that
heard he invented sliced bread.
he did actually, and chocolate
Mhm.
ice cream at the same time. In fact,
I
uh,
also heard he invented sex.
uh,
Mhm.
yes. Unfortunately, now I'm having
Hmm.
to block out images of him having sex, but like, and
I just had an image of him having sex with chocolate ice cream and sliced bread.
in bread.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Oh my god, that's so nasty. Okay, we kind of really went off the
Yeah.
rails
So,
here.
anyways, before
Uh,
anything else before we wrap things up here?
uh, no.
Okay, so folks, be sure to check out all2real2.com. It's got all of our links to all of our stuff, including our T Public and our social media outlets and all the places you can listen to the show. And speaking of T Public, if you want us to, maybe release a Woke Boy Strikes Again T-shirt, we might do that.
Wait, oh my god, you should actually make that
Oh,
shirt.
I will. I think I will. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Maybe those will be out in the next week or two. So
You
check.
know what though? Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I had a stroke of genius here.
Okay, go ahead.
You should actually make that shirt though.
Yeah.
Actually, ironically, put an ad on like for conservatives, and like
Yes.
they'll actually buy the shirt thinking that like
Mm-hmm.
they're making fun of woke people, and then you'll
It,
actually probably make a lot of money
yeah,
selling it to
and
them.
but I will put a link to our website on there, so people will
So
wear the shirt and then go to our website and then realize that wait.
realize that they bought a shirt for no reason, and then they're like,
Yes.
God, man, then they'll throw it away. Then they'll burn the shirt, and then
Mhm.
then they'll film themselves burning the shirt, which will then give the shirt more like more what's the word, like virility or
Yeah.
whatever, or viral. I can't whatever say it, but like
Yeah.
virality.
It'll give it more Viagra. Wait, that's not what.
Viagra. You'd
Yes.
be insta hard like Alex Jones's pills. He extracted the gayness out of the frogs and he put them into the insta hard pills, which is what then makes him insta hard. And then so yeah Woke Boy Strikes Again.
Yes.
Sell the shirt to conservatives. I'm sure they would buy it
It'll
because
happen.
yeah, it will. Because I remember I actually made a shirt once, and I think I sold a couple. I don't remember. I could have sold a lot more. Where me and my friend Sean were just like, we were we were gonna pretend to do like a form a super PAC because of how easy it turns out to actually form one. We figured
Yeah.
out like, my God, it's so easy to form a super PAC. Like so, we were gonna form one. I'm not gonna say the name because I might try to redo it again.
Yeah.
And then but like we came up with all kinds of t-shirts. Like the one I came up with was just like it's like a big like a picture of like a cheeseburger with just like a bunch of bacon and like sauce oozing out of it, and then it just says "fuck salads." I'm like, I guarantee you, conservatives would buy that shirt. It's like, yeah,
Definitely.
fuck eating healthy, cheeseburger America. Because they're so predictable. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I always hate to make this show political, but like, There's such an
It
easy
happens.
target.
But anyways, I just want to let people know that to combat all this, just be good to each other.
Yeah, don't be like
Mhm.
me, and don't make fun of people. You know,
And remember that we both love you.
yes, we
And
do.
and until next time, Woke Boy strikes again. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.